boy stopped being lazy, yeah, and I became creative, and I learned how to create it, and now that pride's for me, so come see, oh come eat.
Welcome back to the Silver Line Falcons podcast. I am your host, Sterlington. This is my co-host, Cameron, and we're coming at you with the redux of last week. You know, maybe we got a little excited last week. We was hella negative on the last episode. Falcons done lost. I was sore. I'm tired at work. This my only day off, and I'm like, oh, y'all boys really about to sit here and embarrass me like this on week one after we was excited all year?
Hey man,
But
that's what happens when you get all hopped up on that hopium, man. That's what happens.
oh man, hey, just when I think I'm out, they pull it back in.
When you're on that hopium and things like that, when games like Sunday happen on that hopium, yay, recipe for disaster, big dog. But I've lived, I've learned. I'm accustomed to this. This is not my first week one rodeo with the Falcons in a heartbreak manner.
I ain't gonna lie though. It did piss me off a little bit more that I predicted us to lose in a heartbreaking fashion to provide negative energy. Because I'm like, hey man, this team can't handle positivity, man. We got to be negative, and that's when they'll come through. And we lost in heartbreaking fashion. It wasn't the exact score. I think I said 27-25. We missed a 2-point conversion, but I was like, oh, okay, no. I should have known that the issue wouldn't have been Michael Penix Jr. not coming through in the clutch. Because that's what I messed up at. My prediction had Michael Penix Jr. not getting that 2-point conversion. I was wrong about that, let me tell you. But boy, look, bro, I think it's time to have a serious conversation, man. I think Koo is cooked.
Which is so unfortunate because he has been the reason we have had so many wins in the last few years. Like Koo has been the sole bright spot on our team the last few years. Like we could always count on him. Yeah, so the fact that he's going through these struggles, like I'm feeling for the man. I'm feeling for the man.
And bro, look at how the fan base done turned on this man. Like people saying he should have been gone. Da, da, da. I'm like, been gone? Like he had a rough year last year, but before that, Koo was solid. What was he supposed to be gone that year before that? But look, I think people look back at. I think when going through that Thomas Dimitrov, Matt Ryan, era, that specific era, I think certain parts of that era get taken for granted, because Matt Ryan was a great quarterback, but, he wasn't like ever the best quarterback in the league, except for the MVP year. He wasn't ever the best quarterback in the league. Not a guy like Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady or Peyton Manning of that nature. Thomas Dimitrov wasn't this amazing GM. He didn't know Howie Roseman. You know what I'm saying? I forget the Chiefs GM, but he ain't him. You know what I'm saying? But the guys was pretty good. And another thing from that time period that made you feel spoiled was that you had Money Matt back then. Now, Money Matt, unlike them, I don't think people felt spoiled by him, but I don't think people really understood how clutch he was. Like, heck, we knew it was time to record when we were talking. And we just started talking about Money Matt, man. I got hyped as hell. I was like, man, that boy Money Matt, bro. It was just every time the game was like on the line, man. It didn't matter if it was 57, 58. It didn't matter. Like if you had to run a hurry up to get out there, bro. Money Matt, man. That dude was so absolutely good. He was like one of the pillars of that era.
He was, man. He had that MVP, but you could honestly say he was consistently top 10.
Look, he brought home a lot of wins, right? Like, look, a lot of how we remember a lot of that era is tied to his foot, right? Um, in 2012, when we played the Seahawks at home and, tried to falcon that game away. They did the other side of being the other side of being the Falcons. We always, Cam, what we talked about that earlier when we was like, sometimes I think maybe we're a little too negative as Falcons fans because we'll say Falcon and that to mean a bad thing, but sometimes they go both ways. They like, yeah, they're going, snatch defeat from the jaws of victory, but then sometimes. They pull a rabbit out of their head when they had no business. And when they played Seattle, they choked the hell out of that game. But good old Money Mac come through in the clutch, pull that one out the fire. But we're talking about with Koo, man. Koo's taking a huge fall from grace. He lost us the Saints game. That was pretty unforgivable last year. Like not even just on one kick. Like he missed multiple kicks in that game. And then another division rival. This game is a pretty reasonable kick. It made people forget that Coop won us the game against the Saints with a really long field goal last year.
He did,
Like
man,
on a
against
shit
Tampa
drive.
Bay.
And do you remember that drive?
Yes, dude.
We
It
were
was the
horrible.
curse.
we got them. We only got him position because of penalty.
We did, man. It was bad.
And Coop pulled our butts out the fire. But yeah, he lost his Saints game, the second one. Um, and
He got us in the OT with Tampa.
yeah, he got us in overtime with Tampa. Now he lost us a game against Tampa. And so I'm like, it being division rivalries, being important games, I think those hit harder. And look, it's time to admit that like I think the crossbar one was the one that I think, oh God, no, the kick being 44 yards and he sliced it so bad. Like, I want to stick up for him because I want to remember the time that he was hitting whole, but yo, he was like the worst kicker in the league last year. And then, he was off to a bad start. Like, if that would have been a 50-something yard field goal, maybe, but under 45? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's ironically that's the kicker.
Oh man.
I
Well,
mean, but at the same time, like I'm past it. He was not the only reason we lost that game. So I
no,
can't.
but are you concerned about his future?
Oh, absolutely. That's the reason we brought in Parker Romo.
Mm-hmm.
Parker Romo. It's
Well,
we're gonna have another kicking battle, and apparently, Parker's been pretty good. Well, he's been solid. He's kicked before. He has a little bit of a bigger leg than Koo,
yeah,
which in the
quite a bit.
NFL is always a plus. So we'll see how it shakes out, man. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm upset about how the game ended last week or this past Sunday, but hey, it's a kicking battle, man. And if Koo beats him out, we'll see how it goes. And if at this point, if it kind of goes bad next week as well, you have no choice. Like, look, San Fran has already released Jake Moody.
They sure did.
1 week
No
out,
time.
1 week in, he's gone. So the fact that we even doing a kicking battle, we're doing Koo a service because of this. So let's see how the cards fall.
Yeah. Let me ask. If Koo win this battle, you just ready to let the chips fall where they may?
Yeah, at this point, yeah.
All right, cool. I respect that. Cause that's to me, that's just standing on business. Cause it's like, hey, look, if he win the battle, he win the battle. I know we not, fully satisfied with his performance, and some people want to say cut him, or just like I know it's easy to just say, oh, just do this, but sometimes it doesn't work out like that. I feel like people forget, um, back in yesteryear when Matt Bryant got hurt and we brought in old Italian ice, Giorgio Tavecchio. And then he was kind of clutch that first year, and then we cut Matt Bryant, roll with the Italian stallion, and it did not go well. And people called for Matt Bryant to come back, and he came back, and it did not go well. And the Matt Bryant was horrible, and that's to me that was the summation of Thomas Dimitrov's time as the GM in Atlanta. Him cutting Matt Bryant and us being pissed off about it, he know what he doing. Him signing Giorgio Tavecchio to replace him, this guy don't know what he doing. So, look, I don't want to be too rash. You want to. It's tough because it is costing us games. But look, it's week one for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's week one for the players, week one for the official, week one for the kicker. I know there's no excuse for him missing that 44-yarder to win to tie the game, send it to overtime. Maybe we could have got the ball first in overtime for once. But look, last 3 games we've played, it's been battles down to the wire. You could be out here getting you could be the Dolphins.
Oh my God, yes. Oh my
You could be the
God.
Dolphins.
Yes.
Like, I think honestly, didn't everybody have pretty much a good showing this weekend except the Dolphins? Like, did anybody else get smoked?
Hell, even the Titans look decent, bro. Cam
The
Ward
Ti-
looked solid.
They
Despite how
only lost
bad
by
that
one
line looked,
possession.
I'm like, man, Cam Ward, you looked the part.
And their defense looked good. They had Bo Nix looking silly out there.
They absolutely did. Trust
Like,
and
look,
believe.
they had Denver fans a little shook. Denver fans was like, "Oh shit, boy, that boy Bo Nix looked rough."
He
Like,
did, man.
and
He
I
did.
don't know if Bo Nix. I'm like, hey man, Bo Nix ain't a bad quarterback, and he got Sean Payton. I don't think he looked rough. I think Titans made him look rough. And so I'm like, look, everybody played well, but Miami got smoked. That could have been us. It's not so bad. It's week one, and we always talk about how this year look a lot like 2016. Wouldn't be looking like 2016 if we didn't lose to Tampa Bay in the first game at home. And then we
Yeah.
play them later in the season on a Thursday night, which we did in 2016. So, the best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. Uh, and I guess this is look. Let's be real now. This all the calm talking. All right, this is all right. I don't come down from the emotional high of first game of the season. It's not all bad. Is what I'm getting at now. It's not all good. We got a lot to talk about with that. So, Cam, you want to start with the good? You want to start with the positives, the negatives, or you want to shuffle a deck, do a little bit here, a little bit there?
Man, let's start with the positives, man. Let's start off with what we liked.
All right,
Let's start off with some cheer, man. Gives the people something positive to look forward to, man.
Hey, you know what's the best part about this? As we started putting stuff together and just looking at it, I'm like, oh, it's actually a lot here to be positive about. You got a way to go.
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely, man. Like for starters.
Look, not to pick on the Dolphins again, but them people who watch the Dolphins play, they say, "Oh, like I think it was on Nightcap. Ocho Cinco was saying usually you got one phase you need to work on, or maybe a couple phases you need to work on. He was like, you got something to hang your hat on. He was like, nothing look good. He was like, offense look bad, defense look bad, special team look bad. And then they need to work on, blocking, tackling, running, and then they'll be good. And it was like, oh man, it was that bad. And Tua had 2 picks and a fumble.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They gave up 33 points, only scored 8 on offense. But for us, with our pristine quarterback, boys, Penix is out there pumping 27 to 42. Obviously, 27 to 42 don't tell the whole story. Completion percentage was a little lower, but we had some drops out there. The main thing that I saw was that he wasn't really spraying balls. And the passing game wasn't always attacking downfield, but Penix being Penix, man, he got that naturally aggressive disposition. So sometimes when he get a chance to attack downfield, he did so. So he had 27 to 42, which we'd like to not see him having to throw 42 yards in the first game of the season, but 27 to 42, 298 yards, a touchdown, no picks.
Hmm.
Didn't even really have any passes threatening to be picked. Which when we get to the negatives, I got something to say about that, but on the other side of the ball. He also had 6 rushes for 21 yards, a tutty, and he had 2 fourth down conversions with his legs on the same drive to put the Falcon ahead. What a drive. Another clutch moment by Michael Penix Jr. And it's just wait, we still being positive. Still being positive. Still being positive. Yep. Being positive. So yeah, Michael Penix Jr., clutch as fuck on offense. This dude, what, three games in a row in the fourth quarter when the chips is down? He's like making big plays on fourth down with his legs, with his arm. Big plays on these third and longs. Like he's like, yo, man, y'all boys better stop playing with Penix, man.
He's had three potential game winning or game tying drives, and they just haven't worked out.
No,
So in the fourth quarter, he's shown that he elevates, and that's what you kind of want from your guy. You want to
yeah,
see his quarter. You want to see his QB play elevate in the fourth. Granted, there's some things he can work on, and it doesn't help that Drake London has a sprained shoulder. It doesn't help that Darnell Mooney is
he's out with a shoulder.
he's out with a shoulder as well. So his receiving core isn't very strong at the moment.
Psst. Hey Cam, you seeing this shit?
Oh yeah, I think I am. What is that?
That's a person watching this podcast that hasn't subscribed. Subscribe. The button's down below.
But hey, he's making it do with what he has, and that's something you can rest your hat on.
Hey, well, look, while we talking about, receiving core being down, I mean, and positives, it did seem like the Falcons realized that they had Kyle Pitts out there.
Oh, absolutely, man.
Kyle Pitts,
I
he
loved
had,
it.
8 targets, 7 catches, 59 yards, and including a
Sir.
clutch third down catch. On that same drive that the Falcons ended up and it was a long drive too. It was 18 plays. I think it was like 9 minutes score and I mean excuse me, well maybe not 9 minutes, but it was 18 plays and 91 yards.
Mm-hmm.
2 roughing the passer penalties, 2 fourth down conversions. A
Yes,
third
man.
down conversion that had to be
Had to win a
overturned.
challenge. Had to win a challenge too. That drive took everything we had.
God damn. Boy. Woo! Like, yeah, look, this is what this kind of episode's about. It's about how when you go back through the archives and you calm down and then you're looking at stuff, you just did not realize how wild that drive was. Like, Penix
Mm-hmm.
clutch. He'd have been clutch every game. You just remember Penix clutch. Then you go back and you look at everything that had to happen on that drive for that to play out like that. And look, hey, it didn't work out for a win, but I think we can give maybe not flowers, but we can give a flower to Raheem for improved coaching this year. He went 2 for 3 on challenges. I don't really think he thought he was going to win that last challenge. He was just like, hey, I got a third challenge. I ain't going to lose no more challenges. Might as well try it now. So,
In his defense on that last one, I saw plentiful cameras out there, and we got the 2 worst angles.
yeah, that was unacceptable camera angles from the NFL. Like that, like honestly, he probably was just like, well, if Drake said he caught it, he probably caught it. I'm throwing the flag. He probably didn't bank on them not having a back of the end zone camera, like at the corner too. You telling me that's not a camera on every corner of the end zone? Then boom, you got the end line and you got the boundary covered right there. You know what I'm saying? And I know they want to have them on the goal line too. The more you go about it, the more it's like hard to put cameras everywhere. But I mean, hell, cameras don't have to be that big. And it's just crazy that they don't have that angle covered. But they got a camera in the pylon. You know what I'm saying?
Like, make it make sense, man. Come
Make it
on,
make
man.
sense.
No,
Uh,
I'm with you on that, man. Raheem, and he made sure he was going to utilize those challenges, utilize those timeouts, and he utilized them correctly and utilized them more. Hell, even if he would have lost the other 2, well, I can't say that because then he wouldn't have
yeah,
he would have
he
utilized
wouldn't
them
have had
correctly.
3 to
But
begin with. Yeah.
yeah, but like, hey, those 2 he used them correctly. He saw he had enough evidence. Granted, the first one, Tampa Bay gave us one in the sense that like Todd Bowles took that time out, so it gave us
Yeah.
more time to
Oh
look
my
at it.
God.
So
He
I
got
was
to look
very
at
thankful
it.
for that. I was like, another reason why I was like, hey, something going our
Hopium.
way. Maybe we're
Yeah,
gonna win this
yeah, yeah, yeah. That hopium
game.
because the 10 times out of 9, 11 times out of 10 for us, the other team get that ball off before we get a chance to review it, and everybody coming with their torches and pitchforks for Raheem about how he ain't a good coach and he should have challenged that play. You know what I'm saying? But he got to get bailed out there and then he made a couple of good other challenge attempts. And we'll never know with the Drake London one, but if you got that third challenge, might as well go for it, right? Especially at the time to take the lead in the game. It's like risking a timeout is worth it. But maybe it's not when you got old Michael Penix Jr. on your team being extra clutch. Maybe you should just go ahead and let Michael take care of it. um So the run game was piss poor, but Bijan in the passing attack was still pretty good, man. 6 catches, 100 yards, 50-yard TD. And it was 50-yard TD that was all him. So I'll give a shout out. That was it was a play action fake out of pistol. And then they got Bijan in the flat, and Bijan did Bijan things. Hell, maybe sometimes a play in and of itself like that is like a natural screen. You know what I'm saying? Like you get Bijan one-on-one with a linebacker on the route, with your receivers going deep. If you can catch him in man coverage anyway, and then when Bijan make his guy miss, now he got 2 blockers ahead of him. You know, I'm just drawing up, not trying to give Zach a little credit here. God damn it, he ain't give me the most material to work with. Uh, so but yeah, Bijan doing Bijan things. I mean, I want to talk more about him all the time, but shit, man, we did zip in the run game, boy.
Absolutely nothing, man. And granted, the Bucks was kind of stifled us.
I mean,
Vita
and
Vea,
the Bucks are a tough running team. Like it's like
yeah.
let's not get too big for our britches here. All right, once I saw Vita Vea was playing, I was like, all right, I think I know what was happening here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, But the Falcons still kind of we'll talk about that more a little bit down the line. Defense looked aggressive. They didn't generated some pressure. As far as pressure generated, one of the better teams in the league this past weekend. I think top 5.
Mm-hmm.
James Pierce Jr. had 4 pressures on 15 pass rush snaps. That's pretty good. That's in line with his college production. I don't remember all of the plays that he got the pressures on, but 4 recorded pressures. That seemed to be the consensus. Everybody said, yeah, he had 4 pressures, so that's pretty dope. Also, as far as the defense and rookies, I think we can go ahead and shout out Xavier Watts and Billy Bowman Jr. Boys
Oh,
had
absolutely, man. They look good. They
they
look
look
good,
good.
man.
Dropped a little too many interceptions.
I believe they both had pass breakups and they both had potential interception drops.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be real though, man. Some
Yeah.
of them interceptions was kind of hard. I know we dropped
Of
like 4
course.
interceptions, but and honestly, we they could have been caught. Actually, no, some of those could have been caught. One definitely could have been picked by Xavier Watts. Divine Diablo definitely had one. Who, by the way, shout out Divine Diablo, had a good game. Um,
Mm-hmm.
One, he was way bigger than I thought he was. I don't know. I maybe they say black is slim, and he wore black. I thought he was supposed to. He wore black in Oakland. He wearing black hair. I thought he still looked small, but he looked huge. But he looked fast. He looked like what they need without Troy being here.
Oh, absolutely, man. I like him. I'm loving the addition. He's looking
Uh,
like he was well worth the pickup in free agency.
and look, I liked it. He was. I'm about to invoke some more past memories on people, but evoke more past memories of people, but he looked fast and physical. He looked
DQ, was that you?
fast, huh?
Is that you, DQ?
Hey man, it ain't me, damn, but it's Jeff Ulbrich. He was there then too.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he looked fast and physical, man. He was lightning fast. Honestly, I wanted to see him in coverage a little more though, because I started seeing him blitz, which I'm cool with. You got to blitz him and mix it up. Um, but shit, Caden Ellis got a case for potentially being the best pass rusher on the team.
Oh, he looked good too. He looked
That's what
very
I'm
good as
saying. I'm like,
well.
nah, don't put Caden in coverage. Like, shit, hey, Devon Diablo got to earn these pass rush snaps from Caden Ellis, because Caden Ellis, he gets back there, he gets pressure, he gets stuff done. He led the team in sacks last year. Let that man get downhill.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I mean, I don't want to get too mad at him for diversity, because not to get to the negative section too early, but my man Zach, I need to see you diversify your bonds a little more. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know he tried to mix it up a little. He mixed in a little bit of play action, but not enough. Not enough. Um, he mixed in no, no, no. Look, he had this one play where he kept motioning Charlie, and it didn't happen every time. I started tracking it because at some point I'm watching it, and I see Charlie Warner coming across the screen, and I start noticing that, oh, okay, every time he moves back there, it's a run and he leading you to the run.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes they'd run him out to the flat, but I'm like, bro, it's a huge tell, because if he stays flat along the line of scrimmage, then they know it's a pass route. He goes specifically to a fullback position, and then, well, now sometimes he would just run flat and then run in the hole. But I'm like, bruh,
It's very predictable, kind of stale, man.
bruh, it
And you made a
felt like the game against the Steelers last year
and you made a very good
again.
point. You made a very good point earlier, not in this pocket, just when we were talking earlier. You like something Kyle Shanahan could always do, something we could always rely on is he could always scheme somebody open.
Yeah,
Scheme a
just
guy
one
open.
big play a game.
It didn't have to be Julio,
Did not.
but he could scheme one big play a game for somebody in that game.
Minimum.
Minimum. And with Zach, it kind of feels like we haven't been able to do that. In one full season, in 18 games, because he's been our OC for 18 games, I haven't seen an ounce of that.
I have not.
Not a drop, not a sprinkle, nothing.
I ain't seen him get a route combination that busts the coverage wide open at all. Like I don't even have to think that hard about it. And I swear, not to bring up old shit again every time, boy, that 2016 year was a goddamn marvel. What a hell of a year. But I could, without even like really thinking that hard, I could go back to that year and I could just rattle off like 3, 4, 5 times where we had a coverage stressed and had a guy running wide open. Like seriously, I don't even have to think about it. With Zach, I'm like, I don't think I've ever seen it. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen like a tight end leak out the back or a halfback wheel, get him, stress the coverage running up the sideline. I've never seen any type of play or concept that says, all right, we about to get these guys confused and then get this play running straight up, get this player running uncovered. You know what I'm saying? So there's none of that. There's nothing explosive that's intentionally explosive. The most explosive play we had obviously was the Bijan play, but like that was a check down. But I mean, I don't know.
And the explosiveness part was Bijan. That wasn't Zach.
That's what I'm saying. Now, I mean, look, I did make this reference of the build of the play having this part for big potential if like, and maybe Zach did that on purpose. Maybe Zach was like, nah, he a guy. We're gonna run this play action to him and then throw it to him in the flat. And we'll have these 2 receivers run deep, and we're gonna run this play specifically against man coverage. Because if they planned all of that, all right, I will take it back. That was good. But you need to if you don't do that every week, then why would I think you doing it on purpose? You know what I'm saying? Oh, you know what? No, I got it wrong. I'll give him a little credit. He did scheme up one on a 4th down versus Dallas last year to Darnell Mooney for a touchdown. You remember?
I do. You
and
got
then
me
he did
there.
another one on with Oakland. I mean, I keep calling them Oakland. With Las Vegas Raiders,
Yeah.
an opening touchdown. They
Drake London.
Yeah, well, that was a double move, but
Yeah.
all right, fine. It's still kind of that's the point. Like I'm sure that's that's built into the route. But yeah, all right. So I'll give him those credits. But I'm like, bro, I just want to see a little more, man. Come on, Zach. Come on, Zach. Show me something. I will say this though. He learned a little from his mistakes because didn't leave Elijah Wilkinson out to dry. Elijah Wilkinson was the worst pass blocking lineman for us, but that was to be expected. Right. Ryan Newsel kind of got his ass kicked, but he had Vita Vea. Vita Vea kicks a lot of asses. That's kind of why they pay him all that money and he gets all these accolades. So Penix only took 1 sack. He took another one, but there was a penalty on the play, but I can't remember. Was the penalty a face mask against Drake?
I believe, yeah, it was.
What a strange play. You just never hear specifically a face mask, but a lot of times, a guy kick your ass and your hand get up there and you don't let go. I mean, might as well like hang on. Don't let him get away after grabbing his face mask. So some negatives too, got to wrap that part on. Drake, he got hurt.
Right shoulder, yep. Day to day.
Mike Hughes, man. Mike Hughes had a rough day.
He did. He
had a rough day. Now, I think Mike Hughes can have some better days. One of the things they tout Emeka Egbuka about, what you heard it on the broadcast, you heard it from the Bucks fans. They say this dude's super duper 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 prepared. He's basically super pro ready. So we the team that had never seen film on this guy. So we get to be the first one to find out, and then maybe after we get some film and they get the chance to learn his tendencies, you know, he can match up better. So we'll cut him a little grace. But Mike Hughes, you know, you better pick it up. All right, Tom, we're gonna have to mix it up. Bro, still letting Baker get out the pocket on certain plays. Still letting him beat us with the scramble.
Oh my goodness, man. That's been our crux for a few honestly for a few years now, man. It doesn't matter the QB, they gonna be able to get a scramble on us, man. And look, and given how JJ McCarthy was able to turn around in that fourth quarter and how he was able with that Vikings team
Yeah.
at home. I know it's I know we're kind of venturing in the preview territory, but hey, I don't see how that's gonna be we are going to be able to stop that. We're gonna have to nip that in the bud, man. That's something Jeff Ulbrich is gonna have to address, and maybe it's something we're just gonna have to deal with, just due to the nature of our defense. Maybe we don't have the guys to really.
No. I disagree with that because I mean, even with Baker, we had some plays where we had Kate Ellis as a spy.
No,
And
that's
so, you
correct.
know, we forced the scramble, and then Kate Ellis got the tackle on third down. I think, you know, Baker Mayfield, you know, not to get into preview territory, but Baker Mayfield presents a superior processing threat. Like, you know, he's a well-polished quarterback. JJ McCarthy is a guy who is a rookie, essentially, playing his second game. And, you know, let's be real, he did look kind of rough in his last game, but that scrambling is going to be crazy. But I'm just like, hey, look, we can devote a spy to him. I think based off of what we saw with how much damage he did with his legs, we can devote a spy to the quarterback and say, hey, man, if he can beat us, you know, throwing the ball, then by making good reads, then so be it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Baker's mobility. I mean, it's irritating because it always seems like an issue. I saw Katie lose contain on the one again, and I know what's happening with that every time he do it too, man. He be such a good boy, staying disciplined, staying in his lane, and then he get greedy trying to chase a sack, and then let him break contain and get out. And it happened every time because it's always a pressure, obviously, when they break contain. And then Baker runs straight in the lane that you vacated. And those some of those plays was pretty costly. They led to some third down conversions on some drives that led to points for them. Another thing too is when we talk about, you know, more negatives in the game, obviously the main negative was you know, cool. Another bright spot too that we actually didn't mention in the positives. Bradley Pinion was kind of in his bag. You know, Bradley
Wasn't he?
Pinion. Yeah, he was dropping them boys inside the 10.
He
Uh,
was, man. He had that
multiple
one punt.
times.
I guess it was kind of like a double-edged sword where like Tampa Bay had like that 54-yard return, but that was because
That's what I was about to bring up. Bad play
he had
for
like a
special teams.
65-yard punt.
I just didn't want to drop that, you know, drop that how bad special teams was outside of coup without mentioning that Bradley Pinion was good, even though the punt return team then proceeded to give up a 54-yard return on a 59-yard kick. That was essentially a turnover. Really, when you look at this game and think about plays that did make the game out or make or break the game outside of the kick, that was a huge one. That basically get, you know, it's a turnover. They're getting the ball like after we got the ball, they get the ball and only have to go 32 yards to score a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? If we only had to go 32 yards to score a touchdown, we scored a lot of points too. But that was a big one that turned into, you know, a negative play. Look, bro, the run game, man. Bruh, the run game was terrible. Now, I know we was talking about they got Vita Vea. I know, and Tampa's a good run defense, but we
We
were
couldn't run the
horrible.
ball with Bijan Robinson. and
We
Tyler Algier.
and we that's what I'm saying. You telling me we can't and more importantly, right? Because maybe there's times, you're not gonna rush for a lot of yards. That's fine. But we couldn't run for it in situations where we needed to run for it, where it was just a few yards. That fourth down conversion, I mean, excuse me, that failed fourth down. In fact, that was a huge momentum shift. Tampa Bay was able to get their fourth down conversion, and then they were able to turn around and stop our fourth down conversion, and then they went down and scored. So that's some turnover on downs. That's essentially another turnover. You know what I'm saying? Did Tampa score a touchdown on that drive? Might have scored a field goal. Because I know they had a long drive for a touchdown. They had that short touchdown. And I think they had the touchdown at the end of the game. So I think they scored a field goal on that one. Um, God, I cannot remember. I cannot remember. But point being, the play call for that situation, I was not satisfied with. Um, I was like, look, when it's fourth down and you lose the ball, you got to come out with your best play call. Ain't no, it's about field position. You got to, I don't care what you do, it got to be the best thing in your bag. And I'm like, look, I get it. It's short yardage. You like, hey man, we can squeeze out 1 yard, but you're not going against just anybody. You're going against specifically a team that has a good run defense. You know that they got that big nose in there, Vita Vea. You know that one of the weaker offensive linemen on your team is your center. You gotta get a more creative play call than that. In my opinion, I mean, I know it's easy to say that, but it's like we had run up the middle and tested the middle several times up to that point. So we
And it didn't
already
work,
kind of
man.
it was a very unsuccessful run. Yeah.
Dude, let's put it this way. This Tampa Bay run defense does a pretty good job against Philly. It has stopped the Philly special before. It has stopped that. What the tush push? It has stopped the tush push before, not the Philly special. It has stopped that before. So come on now, this is a pretty stout run defense, man. Vita Vea ain't nobody to play around with.
He sure ain't, boy. I think he gets bigger every time I see him. And that's what I'm saying though, man. I'm just like, bruh, look, why on a fourth down do you run at their best run defender with your worst run blockers, basically? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know. Now, to be honest, my thinking on that play was I would have liked to see, uh, us try to get a run to sneak Michael Penix, and get him in a favorable matchup to get to the edge or something. Ideally, he can sneak out the bag, on a naked boot or something, or maybe on, an option. But I would have liked to have seen that because what Michael Penix, I think. Well, no, his rushing yardage wasn't that good either, but he had successful runs, i.e., he got fourth and shorts and converted them. So it's like, maybe he only had 21 yards, but boy, the yards he got counted when he got them.
Well, absolutely.
Um, Rukeroro, man, disgusting. Got me with a damn. Uh, he's basically quiet all game. And then when you finally hear from him, he's getting a rough in the passer penalty. But the Bucks didn't go crazy running the ball, did they?
They
Oh,
started breaking off big chunks, but they didn't really necessarily go crazy.
hold on. Think I think I got the stats up from that game. Let me see. Let me see what the Buccaneers did. The Succaneers. Oh shit. There we go. Alrighty. So as a team, they rushed for 101 yards on 33 attempts. 4.4 carries. So it was fine. Wasn't anything great. Although the running backs didn't run for all of that. I know let me go back to the box score.
I think it was mostly Baker.
Yeah, Baker had the most yards. He had 5 carries for 39 yards. So you take away Baker's carries, um, Bucky Irving had 2.6 a carry. Rashad White had 14 to carry, but it was a long of 11, and his other run went for 3. So they would get chunks, but and you know what's funny? To be honest, that's about kind of what we said was gonna happen, right? We just that this was a team, but just by nature, the average was gonna look that way. It's just times we're gonna get upfield and we're gonna get beat, and guys gonna tear off long runs, and then it's times where we're gonna get a negative play because we made a TFL, and I think we did a decent job of that.
Oh, I agree, man. I agree. Like there were a little bit of negatives, but for the most part, I saw some things on the defense I really liked.
I
Like we
mean,
made some initiatives to create some more pressure and to create a pass rush, and I feel like we are starting to see that come to fruition. It was week 1, but it's slowly starting to come there.
slowly, it's we and you said the key, because it's hard after this team having not made the playoffs for 7 consecutive years to stay patient, especially when they come out and lose a winnable game week 1 against the one team that has won this division consistently for the last 4 years. The team standing between you. The team who they have picked up where you have failed. Because the crazy thing about the Bucks winning the division each of these times is that we lead every time. And
Mm-hmm.
their winning always depends on a bit of us
Losing.
falling back and sucking. Yeah. Like they can't win this division without us doing half the suckage for them. And so it's hard to stay focused and stay patient. But it's not the worst thing in the world. It's one game against a very familiar opponent. Um, you got a young quarterback. Now, like I said, Zach Robinson got some shit to show me, man. Zach Robinson. I need to see more intentionally explosive plays. I need to see more diversification in the run game, and I need to see better situational play calling a little bit, just a little bit. I don't really feel like. I mean, I didn't like that wide receiver screen that we ran on I think it was the second drive. Um, but I just don't tip him to like plays designed a certain way. I don't see him succeed enough to justify running them. So that's just me. Let's see. Did we have anything else? Oh yeah. I do gotta admit, while we did get pressure, um, the pressure did fade a little down the end.
It
Um,
did. It did.
it faded down the end, and on that last drive, uh, Tampa got what they needed, when they needed it. They had no problem just being like, "Oh, wow, that was an impressive drive the Falcons went on. Now let's go ahead and go out there and win the game." And and then they went out there and they went ahead, and Michael Penix Jr. did Michael Penix Jr. things, and well, turned out that Younghoe ain't cool no more. Well, look, that was everything in review, and it's in a nutshell, just one week. Um, we got another one coming up, a big one coming up. Time for the Falcons to flip their focus over to the next one, and um, I guess next time you see us, we're gonna be doing the same thing. Anything else you want to add before we get out of here, Cam?
I'm looking forward to week 2, man. Hey, the roller coaster has been off to a rocky start, but I'm still on this ride.
Um, yeah, I call it the long ride, i.e., a prison sentence. But hey,
Boy, we doing a bid.
yo, we'll look.
We doing a straight bid, my
Now
boy.
January, we up out of here, man. All right, we just got a few months sentence.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully we'll get time served. All right, y'all, man. It's time to get up out of here. It's a long episode, so we appreciate anybody who stayed and watched any of this. Y'all know the drill by now. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, hit the little bell. We're gonna hit some real niggas uploading. Peace.